All right, good afternoon, everybody. So just a couple of announcements before we start lunch, just to let you know. For January, the Chinese New Year is coming up, so we are actually going to be celebrating it on January 19th. We're going to have a lunch. So the menu in the newsletter is different, but if you want to sign up for that, you're welcome to do that. It's going to be a Chinese luncheon, pork fried rice, and chicken stir fry. So
With pineapple.
if you'd like to sign up, just let us know. We'll get your name on the list. And then also, Sally's doing a pop-up craft. You're making gnomes.
We're going to make gnomes for Valentine's Day.
Okay, and that's when? It's on the board.
January 26th.
26th. So,
At 1:30.
okay, sign up's on the board for that. Do you have anything else, Sal?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We welcome the Our Lady of the Valley students. Thank you so much for helping us again today. And also want to introduce you to our new volunteer. Ed Pavlis is here. Ed's going to be helping us every Friday. So welcome, Ed. And along with Nancy and Vin, our other volunteers. So thank you, thank you. The chief is out sick today, so we wish him well. We hope he gets better. But I want to introduce you to Sergeant Morissette. Is going to be replacing. And of course, Jean is here too. So thank you. And our speaker today is Patty, and she'll be introduced by the sergeant after you're served. So welcome, Patty. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's do a moment of silence before lunch. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
Like you were told, the chief isn't here today because he's not feeling well. Chief's doing the paperwork. I don't believe it. It's Friday. So today we have Patty Berthiaume from Tri-Valley Elder Services going to speak to us on hoarding. It is a more common problem than we think. A couple updates about the police department. We're going through accreditation, trying to update everything. That's what I've been working on. Trying to clean up all our problems, clean up all our stuff. Currently working on the evidence room right now. We have a new officer that just graduated the academy. We just had an officer graduate at the end of December, Sean Creighton. He's Jack Creighton's great nephew, retired chief. So there's a Creighton back on the force in Uxbridge. That's about where we're at now. We'll keep going forward. Somebody did mention a little while ago about the increased number of spam calls, okay, and scams, okay. If you don't recognize the number, even if they claim they're relative, make sure you double check. You don't give them any information, okay? If they say they're your grandchild, say, okay, I'll call you right back and call your grandchild, okay? These are more common around. If they can get 1 out of 10 to give them personal information, it's a win for them. Don't give them anything, okay? If they say they're your grandchild, your granddaughter, your grandson, your great nephew, say, okay, I'll call you right back. Hang up the phone, and you can call whoever they claim you to be. Okay? There are ways of copying numbers and things like that, so always call them back. All right, on the number that you have for them, not a number they give you. Okay? All right, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Patty.
Good afternoon. I hope you're enjoying your lunch. It smells delicious. So, I'm from Tri-Valley. I've been with the agency 33 years now, and in case anyone's doing quick math, I started when I was 2, okay? So I like to point that out, I was a child prodigy. So through the years, I have seen a lot. I started out in our home care case management department, then I moved on to protective supervisor through there, then protective service supervisor, and now I'm the director of the protective service, crisis intervention, money management, and our latest program, the Anchor program. So all of them sort of tie in together. So through the years, I've seen a lot of hoarding. There is a big difference between clutter and hoarding, okay? Hoarding is actually now recognized in the DSM, which says mental illness, as national illness, which is great because people can get treatment now for it because it's listed. It's people who get attached to items that may have no value whatsoever. I remember once, I don't know if anyone's watched the Hoarding show. I watched it once and they were interviewing this boy who was about 12 years old, who was a hoarder already at 12. In his attachment, he had a cotton ball. Okay? You can buy them by the bags, folks. Very cheap. He was attached to that, and when they tried to remove that from the house, he was in tears. He was literally shaking because that cotton ball meant so much to him. So when people are hoarding, they attach to these items, and it's very difficult. We can't just go in, clean it out, and everything's wonderful. They have that attachment to it, so it's a very difficult case to work. Sometimes I go in and people will be like, okay, we got a case, it's hoarding, it's just like the show. And then I walk in and there's some cobwebs under the bathroom sink. Or there's some boxes neatly stacked along the edges of the room, but there's clear pathways. That's not hoarding. They might have a lot of stuff that is important that they have, but they don't have that attachment to the belongings. I've been in other homes where literally I've gone in and I've had to walk sideways to get through the paths in order to reach the area to speak with the person. It could be cleaned out, but they won't allow us in. So we work very hard on these clients to try to work with them to get them to accept some cleaning services. It's also hard because it's expensive. In the past 6 months to a year, we had a case of hoarding where we had a company go in and give an estimate for the cleaning, $10,000 to clean out an apartment, not even a house, an apartment. We don't have those kind of funds. So we do the best we can to try to work with people to get places cleared out, but it can be hard if there's financial limits. I have seen hoarding of food, where people have stocked up their refrigerators, food. I talked to one client and she's like, but I had to buy the 3 cases of canned tomatoes because they were on sale. And I had to have them. I'm like, but you won't use them. But they were on sale. I had to have them. Any sale item she had to buy and she stocked it up in her house. I have seen hoarding of animals. So tons of cats are usually the old phrase, the crazy cat lady. So they collect 50, 100. Then we go in and we can see live ones, dead ones. It's really hard. It's heartbreaking. They love those animals. They are attached to those animals. But it's unhealthy for the person living there, and it's unhealthy for the pets that are living there. So those can be very difficult cases. There was one recently up in New Hampshire where it was Great Danes. You ever seen a Great Dane? They're about this big. They were hoarding Great Danes. So it was not a pretty sight. There are a lot of people who need help out there. So we try to work with them. The nice thing is the program that I mentioned, Anchor program, we just started it up as a separate program through our agency. And what that does is it provides extra support. Our basic case managers handle about 100 to 120 cases. They see their clients every 6 months, phone calls in between. Anchor program allows us to provide intensive case management for these cases. These are cases where, because of some mental health issue, it doesn't have to be formally diagnosed, anything works for us, but because of it, they are at risk of losing their housing or going into a nursing home. So we can go in and we can provide extra phone calls. We visit these clients every month to work with them and try to convince them that if you just let these homemakers in, the chore workers in, we can help clear and make the home safe. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So it's a great program. Just call through Tri-Valley and we can get more into that program. So if you know someone, it's really important that you call in, try to get them help. We are not the type to go in and people are like, well, just go in, take them out, put them in a nursing home and everything will be wonderful. That is not the role of Tri-Valley. Tri-Valley tries to keep everyone in their home as long as they are safe. And that's always the key. Our goal is to keep people safe at home where they want to be. I don't know how many people are aware, have been looking for housing. Housing is a huge issue across the entire state right now. There is a 5 to 10 year wait list to get into elder housing. And we're actually in a pretty good area. In Boston, it's 20 years. Like you pretty much have to put your name on the list when you're born so that you can get into elder housing. Because of that, people who hoard can end up with their house being condemned. If it gets that bad, Board of Health can step in and say it's no longer safe, and it has to be condemned. There's no place for these elders to go. So we really want to get in there and get the help for the people, get it cleaned up before it gets to that point. So if you know someone and it's starting to look like it's not going so well, call us, let us get in there and see if we can help them before it gets to the point that the home is condemned. I was once working with one of my protective service workers, and she went to a client's home who had been hoarding and didn't take care of his home. And she calls me up from the visit, and she's like, Patty, I'm in the visit, and I'm in the kitchen, and it's raining. The hole in the roof was so big that it was raining outside, so it was actually raining down upon her. Plus, I couldn't walk across the kitchen because the floor had completely collapsed and went into the basement. So there was a ladder that you could go across. And picture an elderly person trying to toss this ladder. The home had to be condemned.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is what we deal with, but for the most part, we're able to work with these people if we get them soon enough and we get the support services in here. So really important that you let us know. We are not the police, although they serve their purpose. We don't go in, we don't arrest people, we don't drag people out, we can't section people against their will. We go in as a support service. So if you want to help someone, you know they're in a bad situation, call us and we can see what we can do. Okay, I could go on forever on different examples of all the hoarding I've been to, pretty much all of them. Creepy crawlies and all that. I won't go into too much because it's lunchtime. Although I have strong stomach, not everyone does. For this job, I have a very strong stomach. So, any questions, concerns? Anyone have anything in particular?
How can folks get in touch with you, Patty? Can you tell them?
Yep. So I'm going to leave some brochures here for our protective service and our crisis intervention. You can call in. It has the main number to Tri-Valley. If you call into our information and referral department, they'll take the information and get it to the right program. So you don't have to worry. If I have a concern about someone, wait, should I call this program? Should I call that program? Doesn't matter to us. Call into Tri-Valley, call our information and referral department. They'll take the information and we'll decide where it goes. Sometimes it's a matter of, okay, this person could fit into 3 different programs, but right now, this one has the most availability. That's where we're going to put them. So we'll figure that out. Just call. That's the important thing. And even if you're not quite sure, I never have a problem with someone calling up and saying, you know, I have this situation, I have a neighbor, I'm really kind of concerned about him, what do I do? call me. If you don't give me the name, I can sit there and discuss it with you forever and tell you and give you examples and everything. Then you can decide. Once you give me a name, if there's a report, I have to make it. So, but if you're just trying to get information, what could I do? Feel free, call me, and we can walk through it. I have many people who do that. They call, and then they make the report, and then we get the people help. And that's always our goal. We want to help the elders that are out there. Because if they lose their housing because of the situation, chances are they're going to end up in a nursing home or on the streets. So we don't want that happening to people.
Is this program just for seniors?
Yes. Tri-Valley covers programs under 60 as well. We do disabled people. But all the programs I deal with, the home care, the crisis, the anchor, are all 60 and above.
Okay, and is this kind of program available in other communities within the state?
Most of them are, not all of them.
How would one find out?
Yep, if you call Tri-Valley and it's a different town, we can direct you to the appropriate ASAP that covers it.
And if the individuals are not 60, but younger,
Call us anyways, because we do have programs for younger disabled, that not all of them are under us.
disabled because it's an illness?
Nope, it is considered a mental illness. It is since 2013, they actually put it in. But disabled because there's something going on, obviously that's happening. Yeah. And we have a wide, it's not like disability for Social Security benefits, where you have to document everything up and down and you get denied, and it's a long process. If you call up and say you're disabled, we're just going to shoot you to the right program. Okay, we don't need medical diagnosis and all that. Okay, great question. Yeah, we never mind if it's another area. There's agencies that cover the entire state. We even have people, because we border Rhode Island and Connecticut, sometimes we even get questions for out of state, and we'll refer them, we'll pull up the numbers for the out of state. So we have no problems trying to find information. If we don't know it, we'll research it and get back to you. We're very good at that. Ooh, dessert's coming. I am going to stay around for a few minutes. If anyone has a situation that they're like, I didn't feel comfortable asking, but I really would like to talk to you, raise your hand, come walk over to me, and I'll be glad to talk to you. Okay? Yep.
You have to give your name, or you can just call anonymously.
You can call anonymously. The only issue is if it's a protective service, abuse, neglect, exploitation, even self-neglect, some of these hoarding cases go under self-neglect. If you report and then you call back later and say, I want to know what happened, we can't tell you because we can't confirm who it is. All report sources for protective services are confidential. We will not release them except to the district attorney if it goes that far. Self-neglect usually does not go that far, but we do keep it confidential. So people will try to guess who it is. We just stand with, I can't confirm or deny, because we don't want someone knowing they told two people, and if they say, oh, I know it was Mary, and we say, no, it wasn't Mary, then they know it was Jane. So we just do, can't confirm or deny, because we want to respect that. If we didn't, we wouldn't get reports. So it's really important. But anyone can make it anonymous if they want. And we take them just as seriously. They're harder because we can't follow up questions.
Good job today.
But we'll still take it.
But you have to give your name.
You don't have to give your name if you're reporting. You have to give who we're reporting about. So we have some people call up, well, I'm concerned about my neighbor, you know, like 2 doors down. Well, yeah, we can't do that. But if you call up, you can say, I'm concerned about this person named Jane Smith at this address. You don't have to give your name. Unless you want to, if it's a protective service report and you want information later on whether we opened or didn't open, then you have to give your name so we can get back to you. But you're not required. Yep. We do get some anonymous calls. We prefer people tell us because then we can talk to them. Also, cost for services. Most of our programs, that ones that I cover, protective service, crisis intervention, there are no costs associated with it. If they have home care services, there are costs. It's on a sliding fee scale. So that is all done over with someone before they set up services. So you know ahead of time how much it's going to cost. And depending on how bad the situation is, we can work with that sometimes to help people out. Our goal is to keep people home and safe, so we have some leeway with that if we have to. Any other questions?
I have a question. When I come in and I can't walk,
Sure.
I can walk. You can work for Tri-River?
Tri-Valley. People confuse us with Tri-River. Tri-River is the medical. Yeah, and visiting nurses are separate from Tri-Valley as well.
Yeah, well, I got two daughters over there, that's all I know to work.
Oh,
I
okay.
work for Tri-Valley or Tri-River, I don't know, my daughter, Bedford.
Oh, okay, so it's probably us. We're out of Dudley.
Well, my daughters work there.
Oh,
I got one who's a nurse, and the other one's a Mary Jane Johnson, and Elizabeth Orr.
no, they might be through our PCA program. They have a ton of nurses that I don't really deal with. Yep. Yep. That would be us if it's out of Dudley. Yeah.
What is the title of the program?
As far as the whole agency,
No. What you were talking about.
we have all different programs that address it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if someone comes in because they're hoarding, it may go to our protective service program for self-neglect. It could go to our crisis program to help them get services. It could go to our anchor program because they need more supports in intensive case management. It could be in any one. We have something like, I think it's like close to 40 now different programs we cover. We have everything.
Good that these things are happening.
It is. It definitely. You know, the elderly. There is so much going on, and as the officer had said, you know, the whole scam thing. It is billions of dollars, billions, not millions, billions of dollars every year that's lost to scams. And young teenage kids and the elderly are the two biggest groups for falling in. Yep, teenagers because they think they know everything. Elderly usually because they're the ones home and pick up a phone and still have a phone there. That's why the two groups are the two big ones. We see a lot of that. We just had one recently, it was $136,000. Yeah, it's all over. If you ever need Lisa, I can do I have a whole presentation, everything on scams and what's out there and stuff. It's bad out there.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.